Hey, what's going on? My name is Astin and I rock. Welcome back to my channel. You are now tuned into episode 2. For those who are new, welcome. For those who have already tuned into my first episode or need a recap, I talk a little bit about rejection. I talk a lot about rejection, both as an artist myself, a multimedia artist, multidisciplinary. I'm a filmmaker, musician, writer, and what's that other thing? Oh, I'm a filmmaker. Maybe I said that. I'm not sure. But on the other side, I'm a film programmer. And so I spend my 9-to-5 job programming films for the Atlanta Film Festival. So I gave a little insight on what it's like to be on both sides of yes and no, and how you kind of learn how not to take it as personal. So in the same vein of taking things personally, today's word is pride. I think it's really good to talk about pride because I think that often we confuse pride and confidence, right? So what's the difference? Let's look up the handy dandy dictionary because I love a good Webster, okay? Pride has 3 definitions. The first one, a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those whom they are in close contact with, and the qualities and possessions that are widely admired by others. Right? And the operative word right there is widely admired. Keep that in mind. I'm like those book author portraits. Not the point. The second definition describes the consciousness of one's dignity. The consciousness of one's dignity. That means you're aware of it. You're aware that other people can see it. The final thing is to be especially proud of, that's, I guess, to pride? Oh, because it's a verb. So to be especially proud of something. So those are the 3. I really want to focus on the first 2 because I think that the consciousness of our dignity can get in the way. Let's look up the word dignity just for a second. So dignity would be described as the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. A composed, serious manner or style. Sense of pride in oneself or high or honorable rank or position. It's really interesting to talk about honor and rank because if you're not talking about honoring yourself, honor, rank, position, those are things given to us by others. So when you put a lot more weight in your dignity or the perception of dignity or being conscious of how your dignity is perceived by the other people, if you put more weight into that more than your confidence, then your why is coming from the wrong place. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard the term, you have not because you ask not? Now, I'm sure it's in the Bible. I'm sure I learned where in the Bible during Sunday school. We're not going to get into my spiritual journey, but the point is, I heard it maybe this past week in passing. Maybe it was a whisper from the ancestors. Whatever. I've been thinking about this phrase all week. You ask not. You have not because you ask not. Why don't we ask? Is it because you are too proud to beg? Are you too proud to ask for help? Are you too proud to ask for a chance? Are you too proud to ask for what you perceive as a handout? A lot of times when we think about how we look to others, we are very hesitant to ask, right? The second thing that come up for me is, are you too proud to hear no? You're so proud that you don't want to receive a yes or no from another person. You won't even face rejection because you're too proud to accept it. I talk a little bit about my job. I made it very clear that it's very normal to experience hurt. But pride is what keeps you from accepting defeat, or accepting hurt, or accepting the no. And so sometimes we get some real interesting emails. We do. And I'm sure that, I've probably sent something to some job where I was like, fuck you, like that's pride. When you can't accept an answer, when you can't accept a situation, and when you purposely put yourself in situations where you're not at the mercy of others. It can feel like that. Humiliation really stems from the fear of being put at someone else's mercy, or someone else has to make the decision about whether your work is worthy or not. And no one likes that feeling, right? But that's pride. Pride doesn't allow you to accept that not everybody is going to like your stuff, or not everybody's going to give you a chance. My last question is, are you too proud to be seen? I was in a conversation with a friend of mine a couple days ago, and I feel comfortable talking about this because these were also, you ever give your friend advice and be like, damn, I need to hear that advice too. Like, oh my God, because sometimes you have the answers to whatever you seek, right? Artists do not like promoting themselves. There are a few that do. There are a few that have found a way to make it fun. The Lord is working on me. And I say that because, excuse me. I say that because in this conversation, the phrase came up, well, I'm an artist, not a business person. I'm an artist. I don't really like to think about the business aspects of things. I've said that more than once. I'm not the biggest, even doing this YouTube page is like a huge step for me, because people have for the longest time been like, Astin, sometimes we just want to hear what you have to say because you have interesting things to say about, whether it's coaching, whether it's culture. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't know what to say to them people. But the unwillingness to put yourself out there is pride. It's not confidence, it's pride. Confidence says no matter what I do or how I do it, I'm going to find the right people. That's confidence. Pride is focusing on what you won't do. Does that make sense? Pride is, I'm not about to hit up all these people in the email and then look stupid because nobody hit me back. Confidence says, I'm gonna send about 50 of them things. I know somebody is gonna open the email. Somebody's gonna open the link. Somebody is going to say yes to my grant proposal. I think that we often confuse the two. And even in, I talk a lot about hearing and saying yes and no. And that's really the difference of confidence right there. Confidence is saying yes and pride is no because. Does that make sense? So I encourage you to think about that. Like, what are you too proud to do? Make a list of those things and maybe start doing them just to see. You never know. You never know what you're I'm too proud to write about my process in a blog. Do it. I bet you love that shit. I bet it's going to take you 2 hours because you can't stop talking about yourself. Oh, well, now I'm too proud because now people are going to think, oh, well, now I'm too proud because now people think that I like talking about myself. So you'd be surprised at how many people want to listen. So I encourage you to think about those questions, really like what you're proud to do, if you're too proud to be seen, you know, if you are too proud to ask, why? Why? What do you want? You have not because you ask not. What do you think you're missing? And what are you avoiding to obtain that thing? Just think about it. So today's video was kind of short. It's a little all over the place. In the middle of it, I realized I'm not talking on my microphone. So I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. If you have any questions, concerns, additional thoughts, I would love to know what you think. What are you too proud to do? What are you too anxious to do? I want to know how pride has affected you, or if you ever came to a realization what pride and confidence look like for you. And so, thank you so much. See you next time.